Hey everyone, welcome back. Stacker here. In today's numismatic news and information for the first day of May 2023, I'd like to take you over to JM Bullion so we can look at those spot prices, the inventory of the American Silver Eagles, and those premiums on those American Silver Eagles. But before that, huge shout out and a big thank you to all of our channel members. Really appreciate all y'all's support. Now here we go. It looks like gold is down $8.28 to $19.94.79, just below that $2,000 threshold. Silver's down 9 cents to $25.31, above that $25 threshold. Platinum down $9.90, above the $1,000 threshold at $10.83.99, and palladium down $16.87 to $15.43.43. Now over here, it looks like it is in stock. These American Silver Eagles are in stock. The credit card PayPal payment is going to put you at $23.96. So yeah, a little bit of money there for those American Silver Eagles, almost double, right? 100% premium. And why is that? Well, because the United States Mint, well, it doesn't seem like they are making very many bullion Silver Eagles this year. That's right. 900,000 looks like a cap. Now over here to coinworld.com, there's an article by Paul Gilkes. This is really important, folks, about this nickel article, the metal composition, and all this information. I think is something we need to think about, and it's super important because we are going through parallels that we've seen in the past, and I would like to point them out to you in this particular episode. Title of this article is U.S. Mint asks, no, it's not, it's just Mint. I added that other part. Mint asks Congress to give it authority to change alloys, and there it is. That's the Jefferson Nickel. There's the usual title right there. That's the biannual report, United States Mint Department of the Treasury for 2022. Now, the U.S. Mint continues its research into developing compositional alternatives for specific circulating coin denominations that could save millions of dollars annually, while two circulating U.S. coins continue to cost more to produce and distribute than their face values. Can you imagine what those are called? Yeah, that's the zinc and cents, the Lincoln cent, and the Jefferson nickel, right? It costs more than double face value in 2022 for the Bureau to produce and distribute each Jefferson copper nickel 5-cent coin. The cost to mint the mint in 2022 to produce and distribute each copper-plated zinc cent was nearly triple its face value. On April 18th, the Bureau submitted its 6th biannual report to Congress on alternative metals research as required under the provisions of the Coin Modernization, Oversight, and Continuity Act of 2010. All right, that's Public Law 111-302. U.S. Mint officials recommended that Congress pass legislation granting the Bureau, through the Treasury Department, the authority to implement seamless alternatives. And seamless means co-circulating, that you wouldn't even notice that they changed. There's already legislation introduced both in the 116th and 117th Congresses that would provide that type of authority. Now, the Coin Metal Modification Authorization and Cost Savings Act, that's H.R. 1789 and S. 672, according to the 2022 biannual report to Congress, enacting this legislation would allow the Mint to act in real time on various alternative metals. And let's face it, the United States Mint doesn't really act in real time. It takes them forever and a day to get anything done, right? This would help address market fluctuations in metals, because we have seen that a lot lately. Proactively reduce the risk of supply chain problems, absolutely make counterfeiting coins more difficult, and most important, reduce costs. And I'm not sure that the United States Mint is having their 2023 or 2024 coins counterfeited, but that's interesting that they even bring that up. Alternatively, the Mint recommends granting authority to the Department of the Treasury to produce coins with the 80-20 alternative metal for nickels, dimes, quarters, and half-dollar denominations. Based on 2022 production levels, this could increase revenue by approximately $12 million per year, and it is the one alternative metal that has completed its full research. Now, once authorized, the Mint would need approximately 1 year for final supplier validation for large-scale production before starting production or general circulation in the next calendar year. So there you go, folks. So if we are looking to get the coins that have the composition, right, that we're used to, I imagine that would be 2023, could be the last year of it. Now, the primary recent focus, even though it says 1 year there, I think they're already working on it since 2020. The primary recent focus of research, getting their final supplier and all that. Anyway, the primary recent focus of research and development testing at the Philadelphia Mint is the 5-cent denomination. And folks, that is a heads up to us more than anything. That is the writing on the wall right there. Currently comprised 75% copper and 25% nickel. and the copper nickel clad dime and quarter dollar composed of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Okay, so they're trying to do 80-20, which is a minimal reduction, but it saves them some money and they're ready for it. While earlier research also resulted in an alternative composition for the copper plated zinc cent, the cost for any option still exceed the face value. So there you go, folks. And that's really, I guess, an argument to get rid of the Lincoln cent altogether, because all the alternative compositions for the zinc and cent cost still more than the face value. The seamless alternative for the Lincoln cent was copper-plated steel with a weight, diameter, and edge thickness similar to the current cent. Yikes. Could you imagine? I'm not into it. Now, I'm going to keep on keeping on. It says here current alloys, and this is basically a historical perspective. The current alloys for the 5 cent, or for the cent, 5 cent, dime, quarter dollar, and half dollar, have been used for decades or longer. Okay, so we're looking at the 1982 change, right? From the copper, bronze, whatever you want to call it, to the zinc and cent. And in the 60s, during the wartime Vietnam War, they went from silver to clad coinage, right? That wasn't making anybody happy. And then I believe it says right here, and I'll read this to you. The composition of the cent was switched from an alloy of 95% copper, 5% zinc in 82, with a 95% copper and 5% tin, and zinc alloy used from 1864 to 1962. Now here we go. This is the money shot right here. The 5 cent coin is made of the same alloy. It was introduced in 1866 when the denomination was first struck. Now, folks, we're going through a very similar time right now, because the reason this nickel was introduced in 1866 is because in the Civil War, people were hoarding silver and gold coins. Well, there you go. And are they hoarding some coins now? Absolutely. So the mint is changing that. So there's some parallels between that time, between the 1960s, 1860s, and 2023, because we could be heading, I mean, there is talk of war, right, outside of our sphere. Now, it says here when the denominations were first struck, both compositions were briefly replaced by different ones during World War II. This is a huge deal right here, so that the traditional metals could be used for military purposes. Did you hear that, folks? Military purposes. That's right. That could be why we're getting rid of the nickel in our coins also, because there's a need, because there's, well, the Green Revolution, and it's an industrial military metal. The dime, quarter dollar had been made of copper, nickel clad since 65 issues. When the first half dollar was made of that composition struck in 71, the 90% silver, 10% copper alloy used for the 3 denominations through 64 had been introduced in the 1830s. Can you believe it? Now from 65 to 70, the half dollar was made of a silver copper clad composition. So we've seen a lot of changes in our coins, but none like the ones we're about to see. Here we go. Now, here we go. What is a silver war nickel? I'm going to tell you right here. That's when the United States Mint replaced nickel with silver, because nickel was more valuable than silver. You heard that right. So here we go. These are commonly known as silver war nickels. Normally, all other nickels are composed 75% copper and 25% nickel. Due to the pressing need for industrial metals like nickel during World War II, 5 cent coins were actually made from 35% pure silver during the duration of the war. And that's from July 12, 2019 from Gainesville Coins. But that's not all. Check it out. Now, nickel steel is used for armor plating in tanks and other things. Other alloys of nickel are used in boat propeller shafts, turbine blades. Nickel is used in batteries, including rechargeable nickel cadmium batteries. And it says here, nickel metal hydride batteries used in hybrid vehicles. Nickel has a long history of being used in coins, but maybe for not much longer, right? Maybe not much longer. So check this out. Nickel hardened armor plate for tanks, nickel alloys for anti-aircraft guns and ordnance, and even lightweight and tough portable bridges used in invasion for Germany all required this essential metal. And this is from February 13, 2009. And it says here, this is from Stan Sudel from Republic of Mining. Nickel is the closest thing to a true war metal. What does that even mean? It means it's going to be taken out of our supply if we do this. Because check this out. I'm telling you, it just keeps getting more and more intense. Because check this out. This is from CNN. U.S. is running low on some weapons and ammunition to transfer to Ukraine. It says here, the Heritage Foundation, U.S. military has fewer munitions than you might think, and that's a problem. Pentagon sends U.S. arms stored in Israel to Ukraine. Wise ammo soaring 15% this week. That's from January 27, 2023 from Motley Fuel. I wonder, this is a month ago from the week, is the U.S. running out of ammunition? And listen, if we're asking those questions, don't you think people have an answer to that? Yeah, we could be running out, but we're going to ramp up production. And that means we need to buy a supply of all kinds of metals. Well, check this out, because these are all on the Google machine, folks. You can look it up yourself. Now I put here nickel price, and it says here largest supply gut in a decade crashes nickel prices. Now that could be temporary, it could be long lasting and sustained, but I doubt it. Because of what's going on. So I'd imagine that China would love to get their hands on a bunch of nickel. I imagine Russia has a good bit of nickel. I think they're one of the largest suppliers as well. So look, if nickel is at a glut right now, and there's lots of it, don't you think that there would be countries that would buy it in large quantities at this discounted price? Absolutely. And I think that any country that has a really good relationship with Indonesia is probably doing well for themselves. Now, let's go over here to eBay. I wanted to show you something. Now, if you're interested in nickels, and this is Jefferson Nickel Box, 50 rolls, and that's a $100 face, okay? And I think the least expensive right here, yeah, there it is going to be $140 basically for a whole box of nickels. And let's go here to coin roll calculator. All right, and I'll leave a link in the description for this page as well. So what is the melt value on these nickels? Well, if you got 50 rolls in a box and there's a roll of 40 in each, 40 nickels in each roll, bam, you're looking at $123.84 in just melt value, not face. So I thought that was interesting. So here we go. We're going to look plus ones today because I'm going to talk your ear off if I don't stop now. This is Proverbs 7:22. He follows her unsuspectingly like an ox to the slaughter, rushing like a venomous snake to discipline the foolish one. And I just think what that means is that we need to take our time and think about things and not rush headlong into anything we do. Because let's face it, I know we do live in an instant gratification society where everybody wants answers now, but can't we just take some time and have a thoughtful answer for once? Maybe sleep on it, maybe give it a half hour, give it an hour, come back in a day. But don't just be headlong to rush to the answer and rush to judgment, right? That's not good. And I think we could learn a lot from ourselves and other people if we don't do that. We can't rush to judgment. Now, let's head over here to 3 Nines Fine 99.9. This is Around the World by Daft Punk. Great song, great motivator in the morning. I hope you do enjoy it. I know I do. And there it is. So I want to thank you all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you're going to see, please subscribe to the channel. It's free. Stacker out.